Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For this video, I'm gonna be doing a review on this hand that I bought from Amazon. This is a silicone practice hand. It's from the brand Know You. So here's what the box looks like when you get it. And then you open it, everything is wrapped up. And then you have the hands in a little baggie. These are just a pair of silicone practice hands. You have the nail tips in there that you can use to insert into the hands. And then you also have this pamphlet in the bottom of the box that has contact information, like their number, their email, and their Instagram. And then in the pamphlet, there's just information about the hands. There's return information. There's how to use the glue with the practice hand, how to take them off. And then in the back, you can see they have a list of the products that they have. So here are the nail tips that it came with, and these are what I use that you're going to insert like into the cuticle so you can practice on. Here are the hands that I'm taking out, and I bought a pair of silicone hands. So I have a left hand and a right hand. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys up close what the hands look like so you can see the details. The camera might not pick it up too well, but you know, it has good details with the knuckle wrinkles, and there's also some vein details on the hands. And it also has fingerprint details and the details like the palms, all the lines and everything. And the hand that I bought only came in this color, but they do have another one that you can buy that has different colors and it's the same hand. So I'll go ahead and leave both of those linked down below, and they're both on Amazon. You can also find the brand Know You on AliExpress. And I'm also just showing you that the hand is very squishy and very stretchy. It's extremely soft. And I would say the hand part, I would say is okay if it's soft and squishy. But as for the finger parts, and especially the nail parts, it's more on the downside. And you'll see why later. But you can see the fingers are very moldable. You can put them and pose them however you want. And then I'm just showing you up close how the cuticles look. You can see they are extremely soft and extremely thin, which is, I would say, the worst thing about this hand, because that really interferes with trying to practice on the silicone hand. So I took out the nail tips so I can put them on, but first I wanted to show you these extendo nail tips, because I know a lot of people like to use these nail tips for practice, but with this hand you cannot use those because the nail just doesn't sit right or fit well onto the hand. So sadly you can't use the extendo nail tips on these. So you're just gonna have to go with nail tips. The one thing I don't like about these nail tips that came with the hand is that they're a pearly white color and they're not much of a natural color. And depending on what you want to do on the nails, like if they're a little bit clear, it kind of interferes with the way they look because there's gonna be white. But also these when you put in these nail tips, they don't really sit well on the nails. Like they do sit on the nail, but I don't know if this is the hand or the nails, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the hand, that the nails are crooked. Some of them are just crooked, and you know, you see me keep trying to readjust them onto the hand, but they just keep moving around a lot. But anyways, if you look at my last video where I reviewed the Red Iguana hand, I used full well nail tips. And after this video, I tried using these Amazon silicone hands more, using full well nail tips, and they sit a lot better on the hand than these ones do. So I recommend if you get this hand, you go ahead and get full well nail tips. And especially since the corners of these nail tips tend to interfere with where it's inserted. But also, I want to mention, while you're inserting the nail tips, you have to be extremely careful because the cuticle area can rip really easily. because it's just so thin, and even when you're taking the nails out you have to be really careful. Anyways, back to what I'm doing. I cut down the nails and filed them to make them look more natural. And then I'm gonna go ahead and prep them like I would on a real person. So I'm going ahead and taking the sanding band, and I am taking the shine off of the natural nail. And with everything you do on this hand, you have to be extremely careful with the cuticle area, and you're also gonna have to hold down a lot the nail whenever you're doing anything, like where the nail is inserted or where the nail reaches, which is like the first knuckle. Then you would have to keep holding it down because the nails don't stay stable whatsoever. They move around a lot, and when they do move around, if you don't keep them down, then it could keep stretching out the cuticle of the hand, and it could possibly break them. But anyways, after I finish taking the shine off the nails, I'm going to go ahead and apply nail tips. And I'm just using straight stiletto nail tips that I'm gonna cut down into a coffin shape. And also, I wanted to mention how, it said that you can glue down the nail tips that you insert. And I didn't do it in this video because I don't like having to glue things down, like glue tips down on silicone hands, because I don't want to damage them and I want them to last for a long time. And I was experimenting with the hand later in the later after the video. I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and try it anyways. I have a pair of hands, so let me just go ahead and try and see what it's like to glue down the nail tips. And I had such a hard time trying to glue down the nail tips that I inserted, because I would apply a little bit of glue onto the nail, and then I'd put the nail tip on and I'd hold it down for 30 seconds and it just did not stick on. And so I took it off and I applied a little bit more nail glue, and then I put it back on and I held it down for a little bit longer and it just still didn't stick on. I don't know if it was something I was doing wrong or if it's just the hand, but then I kept going in with the glue, but then I ended up putting too much glue where it started dripping to the sides of the nails of the silicone hand, and then I was like just there making a mess of the glue, and the nail still didn't want to stick on. And maybe it could be because of how smooth and shiny the silicone nails were. That's probably why nothing wanted to stick onto it. But I would say it's better off just trying to use it without gluing them down, unless you can make it work. But for me, it just did not work doing that. But anyways, I just go ahead and prep the nails like I always would, like if I were doing a person. I just went ahead and applied a primer to the nails, and then I'm applying a thin layer of clear. And I always use a thin layer of clear to protect the nails or just as a base for the nail. And also in the case that you wanted to file off your design that you had on, if you had acrylic colors, then you could just file it down to the clear. More things to mention about the hand. You see me constantly going in and readjusting, like pushing them back into where they're inserted, because they just keep slipping off while you're working with them. And that's because like the cuticles, since they're so soft and so thin, there's just nothing holding on to it. And like that's why you see me holding on to it at the base whenever I'm doing anything. Like there's nothing to keep the nails down or stable whatsoever, so you really have to be extremely careful. And then even doing that, like constantly having to readjust it and push it back in and moving it around, like the cuticles are just so thin and can rip so easily. Like I would say that is the worst thing about this hand. Just the cuticles make if you wanted to practice on this hand, it makes the application like pretty bad. Not bad as in the quality of how you apply your products, but I mean bad as in like how difficult it is to work with. But anyways, now I'm just gonna go in with the acrylic colors. I applied a white acrylic to the tip of the pinky and I blended upward because that's going to be an ombre. And then on the pointer and ring fingers are going to be full nude. For the ring finger, I'm going to apply a transfer nail foil, and for the pointer finger, I'm going to be doing a 3D design later. So then after the white acrylic has had time to sit, I'm gonna go ahead and use the nude color to blend in with the white to make an ombre. And when it comes to ombre nails, I like to let the first color sit for a while, because if you just go in with the next color while the other one is still wet, then you might just drag it off the nail. So just let it sit for a bit first before you go in with your next color. Also guys, another thing I wanted to mention is make sure you have something you can hold up the hand with, like a clamp. Like I said, on Ready Guana's website they have one for their hand, but you can find a clamp, and I think it's also a phone stand. But you can pretty much just find a clamp anywhere that you can just put on the table. It's a lot better than sitting it down on the box like I'm doing, because that's where I have the hand up. And don't have the hand sitting down on flat on the table, especially this one, especially since nothing is really holding the nails down. And of course I really need to get one. For any hand you use, it's better if you use one, but especially with this one, if you want to use it, you're definitely gonna need one, because sitting the hand flat down, especially if you're doing nails as long as this or any nail longer, like if you're doing really short nails, it's fine. Like if they were as short as I was doing the quote-unquote natural nail, it's fine. But then if you're doing them any longer, if you were to sit them down flat, then the nails are gonna lift up, and since the cuticles are not holding anything, they're just gonna like stretch out the cuticles. And then the thumbnail, when I was sitting it down flat on the table, and sometimes this will even happen on the box, the nail would just lift up to the side and start stretching out the silicone cuticles, and you know, it could just rip it. So it's better if you can have it up somewhere, like just something holding it up like a clamp. So now for the middle finger, I am doing a marble effect. So I'm taking a bead of clear, a bead of white, and a bead of nude, and just swirling them together. Don't swirl them too much to the point where they become one color, but just enough so that it makes a nice effect while you can still see all the colors. And when it comes to marble, you can do it whichever way is most comfortable for you. You can go in with the beads one by one, or you can pick up all the colors on your brush. Or if you have another method of doing it, then go ahead and do that. Just do whatever is most comfortable for you, and whichever one gives you the best effect that you like the most. So now I'm gonna go on with gold foil, and I'm going to rip them in little pieces. I'm just gonna be applying the little pieces in just random places on the nail. And then I go back in this nail afterwards so I can add just a few more really tiny pieces. But now I'm going in with the thumb, applying a thin layer of, well, applying a wet bead of clear acrylic. And I'm going to apply little pieces of the gold foil on the clear part of the nail, like the tip. And then after that I'm going to apply nude color and fade it out towards the tip to make a clear to nude ombre. And then the gold foil is just going to be encapsulated in clear. I always encapsulate everything with clear. Sometimes nude colors I don't encapsulate, but for the most part any acrylic color that I use on nails, and especially designs, you have to encapsulate. I know some people don't encapsulate colors. Of course, just do whatever is most comfortable for you, but I always like to encapsulate colors. But here now I'm just taking the nude and blending it downwards. Now I'm going in with this foil transfer glue and I'm going to apply it to the ring nail. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure the layer is not too thin and not too thick. And then after it's all dry, I'm going to go ahead and apply the foil on there. I'm going to place it where going to center it where I want it to be. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press it down with my fingers, and then take this silicone cuticle pusher and just start pressing it down with that. Make sure you get all the sides, and just make sure it's all done really well so the whole design sticks onto the nail. Then you just go ahead and take the clear part off and the design is on. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and encapsulate all the nails. And with the transfer foil nails, when you encapsulate them, make sure that other people have different methods of doing this. Some people use top coat before they encapsulate, and sometimes I do that depending on how much I know the design can bleed. Like, I know there's stickers that definitely bleed if you even touch acrylic with it, so that's when I use top coat. But with foils, I just like to be very careful because they don't really bleed. Also depends on what you're using though. They don't really bleed, but they still can, so you still need to be careful with them. So when I encapsulate nail transfer foils, I apply a big enough bead that will cover the whole nail, and I'm gonna go ahead and not brush down the clear acrylic, but I'm going to pat and press it down, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pat it down all the way down the nail until it covers all the design that I glued down onto the nail. You don't really want to brush it too much because you don't want to smudge anything from the nail foil. And then after I already have that first layer already pressed down, then I can go on with more acrylic on top. And that is pretty much it. That's how I encapsulate those nails. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of me encapsulating the nails in clear, and I'll be back. Okay, now we're gonna go on with the filing, and you can see here you really have to hold the nails as much as you can and from anywhere that you can, like the sides, the bottom, and especially at the top. With this acrylic hand, you can see me again constantly having to go in and adjust it because they just keep slipping out. And like that's with any silicone hand, like you have to hold it down, but since this one doesn't have any type of stability at all, like you can see on the other nails, when it's just resting on my hand, they're just gonna like try to pop up because they're just not being held down by anything. The hand is just not strong enough to really hold the nails in place. So especially while you're filing, you have to be extremely careful, and you probably can't file too hard. Again, you shouldn't file too hard on any silicone hand, but with this silicone hand, you're just gonna need even more care with it. So now I'm just going in with the sanding band to file over top of the nails, and I start at the cuticle area, but of course I can't get too close because I don't want to rip the silicone. You can see when I go in to file the nail with the nail drill, I go ahead and hold the top of the nail, and then I also hold the side of the nail so that I can keep it in place while I'm filing. So now I finished filing, so on the pointer finger I'm gonna go on with the 3D design, and I'm just using the white acrylic to make flowers. And I'm so sorry for my application on 3D because I'm still not very good at it. I wanted to make these flowers a lot smaller, like make the whole nail filled with flowers, but they came out too big, so I was only able to do 3 full flowers on the nail. But I'm really sorry for my messy flowers, pretty much. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys watch that. After I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and add some rhinestones, and these are just some orange ones. So I just applied one on the pinky, and then I'm going to apply rhinestones in the middle of the 3D flowers. And then after that, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply top coat to all the nails. And I just go ahead and go around the rhinestones that I applied. And when you do 3D nails and you have little spaces that you want to go in between, you can use a detail brush. You put top coat on it, and you can just go ahead and use the little brush to go in between the little spaces of the 3D nails. But anyways, that is it for this video, guys, and my overall thoughts on this hand. I want to say I wouldn't really recommend this hand very much, just because it's difficult to work with due to how thin the cuticles are, and they could rip extremely easily, and you just need extra care with these hands. I would say the hand is possibly okay, and you can still get it if you want. But honestly, there are silicone hands that are so much better than this one, and like a really great quality compared to this one. So I would say, you know, it's better to get those ones than this one. And even in durability of the hand, because this one, I would say probably wouldn't last very long. You know, especially because the cuticles, they're just gonna get really bad. They stretch, and they're eventually gonna break, or they're gonna stretch too much. Yeah, that was just the worst part about the hand. And then also another thing, like the hand is pretty realistic, but then as soon as you apply nail tips inside them, you can see them through the cuticles. And you know, if you wanted to use these for pictures or anything, unless you didn't mind it, but you know, that takes away from how realistic the hands look. And especially with the nail tips that it came with being white, you can definitely see them. So here what the nails look like after I am completely done. Yeah, that's basically everything I have to say about this hand. So you guys let me know your thoughts below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other things you want to see, what other recommendations you have, what other things do you want me to review, things like this or anything else, because I'm really interested in trying new things. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.